Hi everybody, it's Az here from Heel vs Babyface with an impromptu AzChats because news has just filtered in from Gamescom that The Elder Scrolls Online has announced that it's going to go into a subscription-based model. And quelle surprise, that's French, it's going to be mirroring World of Warcraft, Blizzard's subscription fees. So it's going to be £8.99 here in the UK for a month, and it's going to be $15 in the US for a month, and you can find out your other monies accordingly by going and checking it out. Now, do I take exception to this, and why should I bother, and why should I care, and all this kind of stuff? But yes, I do take exception to this, and a couple of main reasons why. Because I already think, by announcing this, they have sealed their fate. And I don't think it's going to be a particularly nice fate. I think it's going to be a big walls come tumbling down upon them fate. First of all, adding a subscription model in today's day and age, your product better be Jesus riding a freaking BMW while Allah is filling up on premium in the gas station. You know what I'm saying? It's got to be the deity of all deities. Is the Elder Scrolls Online going to live up to that? Well, let's have a look at what we've seen from the game so far. And what have we seen from the Elder Scrolls Online so far? Not a lot. Not a lot at all. In actual fact, our first real show of the game was recently at Quakecon. And they put on what possibly I thought was the worst presentation for a brand new title that I've ever seen. First of all, the guy that was doing the presentation was as dull as dishwater. He seemed disinterested. He didn't seem to have any personality attached to him. He didn't seem to believe in the product. And it certainly filtered through because the crowd were dead. He actually had to try at one point to get them interested and active with the presentation, and it felt forced and it felt clunky, and to be quite honest with you, was pretty embarrassing. Then they had a guy in the background who was playing the game itself, and it seemed as if he was under orders not to display any personality himself either. He didn't make his face crack at all. It was like he was made in stone, a little maybe curling up of the mouth ends at one point in what seemed to be the most forced smile ever. But it was awful. It was a dreadful presentation. So let's move away from that. And what did they actually show us? Well, they showed us the Elder Scrolls Online at night. At night time, where it was dark, it was dingy, you couldn't really see a lot of that was going on. The guy was just firing arrows into brick walls to try and display how you fire a bow. And then they moved us off into a dungeon, which was underground in a cave, which once more was dark and dingy. And it really wasn't the best footage that you could have shown off. If that was the best thing that you had available to say, hey everybody, this is our brand new product, kaboom! Yeah, the crowd go mild. That's what it went like. It was pretty darn appalling. And then you juxtapose that next to EverQuest, next. And you were poles apart. You had David Georgeson, who was just really involved. And that guy wasn't just involved, but he clearly demonstrated he had a love of the product. He had a love of his job. And he knew everything inside and out. It was a phenomenal presentation. EverQuest Next blew Elder Scrolls Online out of the water at Quakecon. Absolute poles apart. So now we come to Germany, we come to Gamescom, and we have the Elder Scrolls Online announcing that they are going to be having the subscription fee to mirror that of the World of Warcraft. It just astounds me. And what worries me even more is not only what they've showed off has been lukewarm at best, but hardly anyone has been allowed to test it. Now, I'm sorry, but if you're hiding your game behind a very select few testers who are closed by an NDA agreement, I don't mind that. That's your prerogative to do so. But you are displaying you don't have a lot of confidence in it. Because if I personally was making an MMO and I was excited about my product and I was believing in my product and I was out there thinking I want everybody to come and play my game, I want people to come off WoW, I want people to come off Guild Wars, I want people to come off COD, I want people to come from all areas and walks of life to play my game, I would be banging it out there going, look at my product, it's brilliant, don't you like it, isn't it fun to play? We're not getting any of that at all. We're getting closed doors. We're getting no information. We're getting nothing whatsoever apart from stone. And that, to me, demonstrates you do not have faith in your product. Now, Elder Scrolls Online could come out and be absolutely sensational. But I just don't think it will. Because if the game is going to be up to that level that it will compete with the likes of the World of Warcraft and such, then they would be screaming it from the rooftops right now. And that's something they're not doing whatsoever. Now also, the Elder Scrolls Online is going to be coming out on consoles too, so you've got to have a gold membership or a PlayStation Plus membership to play it, because you need to have those two things to be able to go online. So if you're somebody who doesn't have them, and I know the vast majority of us do, but if you're somebody that doesn't have them and you want to play this title, you're going to have to fork out another £40 here in the UK to do so, just to be able to play a game, which again is going to cost you £9 a month. To me, it screams idiocy. Now, what I would have liked to have seen from the Elder Scrolls Online would be a free-to-play model. Not a pay-to-win model, but a free-to-play model. I've recently been doing quite a bit of Phantasy Star Online 2, the Japanese version, because the Western version isn't out here. And although that is a free-to-play game where you can utilise microtransactions, I haven't felt at any point so far that my game has been hindered because of it. I can still do all the content that I want to do, have all the fun that I want to have, and grab all the loots that I want to do as well. But I'm not hiding behind a cloak and shadow in gameplay which has been seen at Quakecon to be mediocre at best. It looked uninspiring, the combat, the environments, what they showed us, and then come out and say, oh, by the way, to play this game, that we've seen so little about, and let's be honest, what you have seen hasn't been that impressive, is going to be exactly what you're paying now for WoW, which has been out for nearly 9 years, and undergone so many transitions and changes that it's such a polished title now that it's probably the only subscription-based MMO that's going to be feasible to survive in today's marketplace. Yeah, just screams idiocy to me, and I think that announcement today has already knocked the final nail into the coffin. If Star Wars The Old Republic and DCU Online, which had much stronger, more established source material to call upon, couldn't do it themselves, how on earth is The Elder Scrolls Online going to manage either? And another thing is Star Wars and both DCU Online are awesome to play. Really fun games to play. But you attached that subscription fee to it on top of the few flaws which did surround them. Star Wars, as I always maintain, is possibly the greatest single-player MMO that ever came out. If you play that game, it's brilliant on your own, but it falls apart at endgame and it falls apart in its cooperation element. DCU was battered by flaws in the way that the classes were balanced, and the fact that they put a ridiculous subscription fee on top of the game too, which was nearly twice as much. It was like £12 instead of £9 for WoW. It was crazy. But it is fun to play. The combat's excellent. The fluidity of the game is brilliant. And if you go online with it, you will have awesome amounts of fun. And yet, all we've seen from the Elder Scrolls is just a few minutes of dark and dingy environments and very, very mediocre looking gameplay. Tamriel Foundry, I don't know what's going on in your mind, but you, I think, have already sealed your fate before the release of the game. So there we go. AzChats, my thoughts and feelings on Elder Scrolls Online being a subscription-based title. Please feel free to share your own comments with me below, your thoughts and feelings. I know if you've been testing, you can't discuss anything, but really, do you see this being a success? The way that they've shown us very little and then asked us for the same amount of money as an established, near decade-old MMO? Well, I'll soon get reading them. So, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please do like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Follow me on both Twitter, Facebook, and also twitch.tv/Heel vs Babyface for live streaming. Yes, I'll be live streaming tonight. And I'll be back with some more stuff very soon. So you take care, everybody. Bye-bye.